Hello, my dear children. Welcome back to the social science class. Today, let us begin the first chapter in sociology, that is, social stratification. In this unit, we will be studying about social inequality, that is, inequality in the field of education, gender, profession, income, opportunities, etc. And we learn about what is social stratification and its features, what is untouchability, and what are the legal steps taken to eradicate untouchability. So, let us get started, children. First of all, let us understand the prevalence of social inequality in our society. The fact that people are stratified or classified according to various qualities, that is, gender, caste, profession, class, and race, is the proof that there is social inequality in the society. That is, all the people are not treated equally. The social inequalities where we can find are especially on income sources, education and professional opportunities, health facilities, and political representation and participation. These are some of the factors which makes it very clear that the social inequality is there in our society and people are facing the effect of it. This means that social inequality, it is a result of already present unequal social opportunities. It is already there and it is continued by providing unequal access to materials, resources, income, opportunities, recognitions, and status. Now, for example, by neglecting the social service sectors like public health system, public education, and social security, we know how the life of a poor man will be. He will not be leading a comfortable life. He will be facing a lot of problems. Because of this, what happens is there is accumulation or assimilation of wealth in the hands of very few. So we see that there are few rich people and many poor people. So when this increasing economic growth and the GDP has led to the creation of 50 billionaires and 1 lakh millionaires, remaining are all the poor people. But the neglect of the food and social security, of caste, income, and gender based discrimination, what we find in our society, it makes us to understand that there is inequality. All the people are not treated equally. They do not enjoy the feeling of being treated that they are one with the society. There is no difference, there is no distinction. That feeling is not there for them. Now let us study about education and inequality. So children, as you all know, education is a special power that brings in equal opportunities, opening and social justice in human life. Therefore, the government should provide education to all the children so that as they grow up, they will not find any inequality or they will not face any differences with respect to their income or their profession. If they are educated, definitely when they grow up, they will draw proper income, good income they will earn, and they will be in a good position. Therefore, with the aim to provide education to all the children of India, the government has incorporated the directive principles of state policy in the constitution of our country, that is, in the fourth part. From Article 36 to 51, it has been made very clear that the government seeks or wants to provide education to all the children in our country. That is from Article 36 to 51. Article 39 of the Constitution says that the main duty of the state government is to provide social justice and work for the welfare of the people. Article 21A makes it very clear that free and compulsory education to be given to all the children between 6 and 14 years, and this is the fundamental right of the children. Article 45 says that all children under 14 years should be provided with free and compulsory education. Article 19 says that the right to speak and express one's own opinion is the fundamental right. Article 29 states that the cultural rights of the minority children should be protected and it is a duty of the government. Article 30 states for the provision to establish minority educational institutions, and Article 46 clearly expresses that it is the duty of the government to support the educational interest of the backward classes, that is the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Now let's understand about the constitutional measures that can be taken in order to remove or to eradicate educational inequality. The Supreme Court's decision to understand the right to live of Article 21 from education perspective is an important one. By declaring school education as the basic right, the Supreme Court redefined the efforts to provide school education. Through this decision, it provided a new hope for the children. Here in the book, if you see, they have given us an example of one case in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, the Supreme Court's decision in the case of Unni Krishnan versus Andhra Pradesh, it clearly states that under Article 21A, getting free and compulsory education by all the children between the age of 6 to 14 is the fundamental right of the children. And in its decision, the court has even said that the entire education structure, that is beginning right from Anganwadi education to higher education, it should be seen from the holistic perspective, which means all-round development of the personality of the child. Okay, not only physical or mental, the all-round development of the child should be stressed upon. As per this decision, all the citizens of the country, they have the basic right for education, and this is the part of the right to live. But we see the opportunities for unequal opportunities in education are on the rise due to various legal issues. Means what? All the people are not getting equal opportunities for education. There is also a rise in inequality mainly because of economic standards. That is, you have to spend for education and all the people cannot afford for it. Still, the efforts to eradicate this unequal opportunities in the field of education is going on. They are trying to improve the situation wherein the parents will be able to spend money for the education of the children. That is with the help of the constitutional provisions. Many measures have been taken to provide education to the children. So children, now let us see how gender inequality, which is one of the various social inequalities, how it gets formed. Actually, in reality, our social perspectives are all interdependent. It means that one person's thoughts are influenced by others' thoughts. Such influence on an individual may be due to the thoughts of the family members or from the neighbors. Therefore, the motivational issues supporting education of a boy or a girl as more in the social sphere of human life. There is more gender based inequality in access to school education, food, and health facilities. Some of you might be facing this at home. You know that the family members or the parents try to give more importance to boys' education. They feel that if they educate the boys today, if they send them to school, tomorrow they will take care of the family. If they spend for the education of the girls will get married and go. Okay, so this is some of the negative thinking of the people. So that's why they say the thoughts of the family members and the neighbors are very important. They should motivate, they should support the education of both the boys and the girls. That difference should not be there. That inequality in gender, male and female, boy and girl, that difference should not be there. According to National Family Health Survey 4, which was conducted in the year 2015 and 16, they made a study according to which the rural women of Karnataka have a body mass index, that is BMI, of 24.3, whereas the urban women, that is women in towns and cities, their BMI is 16.2. This means that the women have lesser body mass index. Now children, you should understand, if the mothers are healthy only, they can give birth to healthy children. As per the study, most of the women in our country are weak. Physically, they are not fit. Okay, according to their height, their weight, they should be healthy. They will be healthy only if they consume nutritious food. 60.9% of the children between 6 to 56 months have severe anemia. Means what? Deficiency of iron. They are weak. 45.2% of the pregnant women suffer from anemia. As I told you, if the mother only is weak, how can she give birth to a healthy child? Or even after the birth, how can she nourish the child? Okay, so in this situation or this scenario, the development should include the food and nutrition security to both the women and the children. Not only we should give importance to children, but also to the mothers. Through this, one should try to overcome this gender based discrimination. Only women keep doing all the work in the house, taking care of the family, and neglect their health, which is not correct. So children, today we began this new lesson, social stratification. I am sure you have understood what is the social inequality, how it is prevalent in our society. We have seen education and inequality and gender inequality. Hope you have understood. Okay, we as educated people, we should raise our voice against the injustice, whatever we find around us. Okay, we have to spread awareness among the people in your own homes. You should make your parents understand whether it is a girl or a boy, education is very important. Watch the video, go through the points in the lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.